Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. Our first one comes from Worried5871. Am I the beehole for refusing to babysit a last minute and ruining the parents' important plans because their sons seem to be older than they said they were? I, a 19-year-old female, have been babysitting occasionally for a few families for the past 2 years. A week ago, a new family got my number from one of the families I babysit for a lot. I told them up front that I have this rule where I only babysit boys that are 10 and under, but when it comes to girls, the age isn't an issue for me. They told me they had two boys, aged 9 and 10, so I agreed. They told me that they had very important plans the day I'm to babysit, and I assured them that I'm very professional and will be there on time, and all of that. The day came, and I went to their house, and the dad greeted me, then took me to their living room to meet the boys. To my surprise, the boys looked like no 9 and 10 I've ever met. One looked 12, and the other looked like he could be 15 or even 16. Both were taller than me, and the older one even had some visible facial hair. All of that was going through my head was that these parents lied to me about the ages, because I led with my rule about ages and they lied to me, so I would just accept. Then the mother came down and greeted me. I asked to speak to her in another room and told her I cannot babysit. I was also truthful about the reason. She was livid. We got into a back and forth where I basically said that I felt like they lied about the ages, and she said, "Oh, so you want me to show you their birth certificates to believe me?" At this point, I was kind of mad because she immediately was livid, and I also felt like I was fooled. Anyways, I said, "Yeah, some proof would help." She stomped off to the living room, and I could hear her tell her husband to get this bee out of my house. I will stay with the boys. I walked out of the kitchen towards the front door and announced, "I'm leaving," before I stepped out. Later that night, the mom of the family who recommended me called and was also pretty angry. I explained that these boys looked so much older than they were, said to be, and there's no way they weren't lying. She said maybe one's actually 11, but the other one is truly 9, and they just look like they're so much older. To be fair, the mother was tall and the dad was huge. It's actually the reason I asked to confront the mother and not the father. But the boys weren't tall, but also looked older face-wise. Also, babysitting two strange boys, who were both taller and clearly much stronger than me, doesn't feel safe, which is why I have the rule in the first place. There was no way that their mother didn't realize her boys looked so much older than the boys their ages. I feel like it was something she should have mentioned after telling her my rule about the ages. I felt like I was justified, but I also felt bad that I ruined their plans. Everyone involved is angry with me, and I wonder if I maybe was overreacting and should have just babysat since I agreed. Right now, I don't know what to think. Was I the beehole here? Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole, but this one's a weird one because, what age could a kid, have peach fuzz and growing hair on their face? I don't think a 10-year-old can, so I'm assuming one is at least 16. That'd be my guess. And I've seen some 16-year-olds that look like grown men, so could be that. I do think they're lying, and I think it's one of those, "Oh, we just won't tell her because when she gets here, she'll just have to agree and go through with it." People like to pull that little scam all the time. And yeah, she knows her kids are big. Let's say they are the ages, which I don't think they are, because you asked for proof, and she did not bring in the proof. Even if she was mad, she could have, you know what I mean? Even if she's mad, she seems like the woman who would get off on, like, proving people wrong and getting in their face when you know she's right. So if she got those, she would go and get those birth certificates to show you. So that's why I think she's lying, and I think they tried to pull that, "Well, she's already here, I'm already here, might as well do it" kind of crap. Oh, back to what I was saying. Yeah, she knows her kids look big and grown. She could have said to you, "Hey, my kids are this age, but they look older," which I still think she'd be lying because, again, I don't know any kids under 11 or 10-year-olds that have, hair on their face. And I absolutely get your worry because, boys at that age, 16 or whatever, I was freaking 16, we did dumb crap like kick each other in the groin, stuff like that. So I could see them trying to, rough house with you and use their height and muscle to, overpower you and mess with you. So I understand not wanting to put yourself in a situation like that. So I believed you did the right thing by not putting yourself in a situation and getting out of there. Because I really do believe she lied. Because, like I said, she would have gleefully and happily got that birth certificate and rubbed it in your face and then made you look foolish and try to get you to, maybe lower your price because, you look like you're in the wrong. So I'm going to say you're not the beehole because I definitely feel like she was lying. Oh, and also, why do these grown. I'm staying 16. Why does a 16-year-old need a babysitter? I was left at home by myself at 12 and never did anything wrong. I basically watched myself, because my parents had to go to work. So, again, that to me that shows that they're bad parents if at like I'm gonna say 16 still, because the hair on the face that you still can't your children still can't be at home by themselves. So bad parents too. And our next one comes from Adventurous Box 8344. Am I the beehole for telling my nosy neighbor to F off and to stay away? So, for context, I'm a 41-year-old female. I'm married to a wonderful husband since 20 years, and we are still madly in love. Due to mental illness, my husband can't work, so I'm the breadwinner in our family. This works well. I got a high paying job and don't have overtime and mostly work from home. My husband is our homemaker, and seriously, he's great at it. Last year, I was able to buy us a new house with a big garden. We do have quite a high fence around our property, so looking into our house isn't easy. You'd have to stand on your toes to peek over the fence. One of our neighbors, let's call her B, is incredibly nosy. When we moved in, she was the first to show up, not to help, but to gossip about the other neighbors and warning us not to trust them much and things like that. 2 months ago, my husband's best friend lost his job together with his wife, who thought a jobless man who couldn't provide. He didn't deserve her. The poor guy struggled extremely with bills, divorce, upcoming depression, so my husband and I decided to get him out of this situation. We do have a spare bedroom that we wanted to turn into a gym room, but the room is still empty, so we offered this room to our friend. Didn't ask for rent or any contribution, just to help him being able to breathe again and focus on the future without having to worry about rent, bills, etc., etc. The divorce is a nasty enough. The poor guy doesn't need more stress. It works out really well. He's a nice guy, doesn't demand things from us. He's just happy to have a safe space to heal and to get back on his feet. We do things together, but he also stays happily in his room when my husband and I want to be alone. Now, when I was grocery shopping a few days ago, I met some neighbors who gave me weird looks, which confused me. Since I'm not the type to just brush things off, I stopped and asked, what's the problem? Turns out, B had been snooping around our house and spread nasty rumors in the neighborhood that I lived together with two men, that the men in my house change. She even called it openly a whorehouse. Since she rarely sees me go to work, and my husband never goes to work, she spread in the neighborhood that I must earn my money on my back, otherwise I couldn't afford such a nice house. I was livid and told my neighbors on the spot what's really the case, then I left too worked up to focus on groceries. Now, in the parking lot, I saw B. In my fury and rage, I stormed up to her and started screaming at her. I told her whoever I invite in my house is none of her business, and to stay the F away from us. My family is not her concern, and if she ever badmouths me again, that won't go well. I simply left, not waiting to hear any words from her. Now, some of my friends think I massively overreacted, while others think I was just protecting my family and friend, and gossip can hurt badly too. So I'm here for the final judgment. Hi, OP. You are not the beehole, and I think you handled that the appropriate way. That type of person, the one who likes to spread gossip. Oh, let me go back to a little bit in the beginning of the story. Whenever the neighbor comes rushing up to you and you just move in and they start talking crap about everyone, usually they're the problem, not the people around them. I'm surprised your neighbors haven't started brushing this woman off for being an annoying, nosy gossip. But like I was saying, people like your neighbor won't understand using words, calm words to explain the situation. She's nosy, and people like that don't stop until you put the fear of God in them. And I believe you did what you needed to do. You went up to her, you confronted her. People like that don't think they'll ever be confronted. So when that puts a shock to their system, usually it's kind of like a bully. If you stand up to a bully and you show, even if you lose and you fight back, they want easy prey. And you're showing her that you're not easy prey and to stop messing with you because you're not afraid to confront her and call her out on her BS. And I also don't get where your friends are coming from where they're like, oh, you might have overreacted. Really? Really? You think they think you overreacted to a woman spreading rumors, trying to mess with your character and your standing like that? Uh, Honestly, it sounds like you got money. She's messing. Maybe you can sue her. I don't know. I know it's kind of hard to prove this type of thing, but she is defaming you. I guess I'm no lawyer. Don't take my word on it, but that's what it sounds like to me. But OP, not the beehole, and I believe you handled it well. I'm amazed you didn't put her head through a windshield. And our final one comes from DoLost2450. Am I the beehole for saying this was a hard deadline and you didn't send the money so you can pay full price or not go at all? I'm going to retire soon. I work at the airport and the job allows me to have cheaper flights. My wife asked me if we could use my discount to go on a family vacation. Over the holidays, I informed all the kids and their spouses that we are going on vacation and are welcome to join. They need to give us the discounted prices of the tickets and the rest is paid for by us. Later that month, I informed them over the group chat that they need to give me the money the 30th of January so I can buy the tickets on the 31st. I got everyone's money besides Jenny. Jenny is my daughter-in-law and has a habit of being late to events and other things. I gave her a call on the 29th. She never answered. I bought the tickets and Jenny doesn't have a ticket. My son does have a ticket since he gave me the money a while ago, and according to them, they have separate money. I never hear back from Jenny until now. We are leaving this Friday. She was asking what time the flight was. I told her I thought she wasn't going since she never gave me the cash. She doesn't have a ticket. This is where the argument started. Me here, this shouldn't even be an argument. She didn't give you the money for the ticket, but alright. She's calling me a jerk for not buying her a ticket, and I told her this was a hard deadline. You didn't send the money, so you either don't go or pay full price. You are an adult. You need to understand deadlines, and I'm not chasing you around. She called me a jerk, and the family is torn. They agree that it's her fault, but how could you have been nicer? You didn't yell at her, you didn't scream at her, you didn't curse her out, you just told her that she effed up. Jeez, sorry. Edit. I asked my daughter if she knew what was going on with those two. According to her, they pay separate for things, and daughter-in-law apparently has a habit of saying she will pay back her husband and doesn't when he covers for her. He told her he wasn't covering her. She thought he was bluffing. He wasn't. I don't know if he's coming on the trip or not. Hi, OP. You are 101,000% not the beehole. She knew she had a hard deadline. You even went out of your way to call her. You shouldn't even have to do that after giving the deadline. Because, like, normal people, they'd pay you way in advance. And I assume she expected her husband to cover for her, and he didn't, which makes her an idiot. If you know he's not covering for you, why would you not go and, handle it yourself? OP, you did nothing wrong. I don't know why they thought you needed to handle it better or be nicer to her. I thought you were being really kind. Like I said, you didn't curse her out or yell at her or anything like that. And yes, she is an adult. Adults should understand deadlines. You know what I mean? So don't buy her a ticket. Let her figure it out herself. If she comes, cool. If she doesn't come, cool. I would say get the information from your son to make sure if he's coming. Not to give him back his ticket or any money or anything like that. To give the ticket to someone else so it doesn't go to waste. Because they're both kind of, well, stupid and got themselves in this situation. Because he also should have told her, hey, I didn't pay for your ticket. You need to handle this. But OP, I hope you and the family and friends that are accompanying you have a great vacation. Not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.